Diana and Charles's relationship has fallen apart. Both have had affairs, and both use the media to leak damaging stories and settle scores.
First, Dianagate, allegedly a conversation between the princess and a male companion she called Squidgy. Then Camillagate, allegedly between Charles and his lover.
She was the villain. She was the third person in the marriage. She needed to rehabilitate her image.
You and your brother both directly asked your dad not to marry Camilla.
The royal drama just got even juicier. Decades after Princess Diana's heartbreaking revelations, her son has stepped forward with shocking secrets about Camilla that could shake the monarchy to its core. From secret meetings to betrayal, Prince Harry isn't holding back. Did Camilla's influence go deeper than anyone imagined? And how does this tie into Diana's tragic end?
Confirmation from our very own Foreign Secretary Robin Cook, who's in the Far East at the moment, that Diana, Princess of Wales, has in fact been killed in that car accident.
Buckle up. These revelations will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about the royal family. Diana's cryptic note hinted at a plot involving Camilla. Diana's cryptic note changed everything. Up until then, many believed her concerns about Charles and Camilla were merely rumors. But that single piece of paper revealed her darkest suspicions. She feared a plot that could end her life, potentially arranged by Charles, with Camilla as a hidden force behind it all. These words shook the palace. In the note, Diana expressed that someone might be planning an accident in my car. This alarmed those who read it after her untimely passing. Why would she even write such a thing? She had felt cornered, hounded by the press, confined by royal rules, and haunted by Charles's closeness to Camilla. The note captured her sense of danger. Stories say Diana found more than enough evidence of an ongoing affair. She knew Camilla was not a casual figure in Charles's life. They had private phone calls, secret nicknames, and shared friends who protected their bond. As the reality of the situation sank in, Diana felt that her own safety might be threatened if she revealed too much. The note itself pointed to specific worries about a potential car crash. Many found this especially chilling after her fatal accident in Paris. People started asking if Diana's fears were ignored, or worse, covered up. Even her son, Prince Harry, has questioned the official investigation, suggesting that the failed tunnel cameras and conflicting reports were more than mere coincidences. Harry's recent statements have reignited debates about that night in Paris. He claims Diana wrote the note because she felt powerless, unprotected by the institution that should have shielded her. It also suggested Camilla's involvement might go deeper than just romance with Charles. Could she have influenced decisions that left Diana vulnerable? The palace remains silent on these details, but the public keeps searching for answers. Every time new reports or interviews emerge, that cryptic note comes back into focus. After all, Diana's own words indicate she believed someone wanted her out of the picture, and that Camilla was at the heart of it. Did Diana truly guess her fate, or was she simply voicing her worst fears during a time of heartbreak? We may never know the full story, but one thing is clear. Diana's cryptic note continues to spark debate, stirring questions about how far some might go to protect secrets, and how Camilla's shadow loomed over Diana's tragic end. Even now, her son's revelations keep these concerns fresh in our minds. The plot Diana feared may still be hidden behind palace doors, and until all details come to light, the uneasy questions surrounding her note remain unanswered. Harry reveals Charles's emotional dependency on Camilla. Prince Harry has never shied away from speaking his truth, and one of his most shocking revelations is about his father, King Charles, and his deep emotional dependency on Camilla. Harry's insight sheds light on just how central Camilla was to Charles's life, even during his marriage to Princess Diana. This dependency, Harry reveals, was not just about romance, but about emotional comfort and trust, something Diana struggled to compete with throughout her marriage. According to Harry, Charles leaned on Camilla for support in ways he never did with Diana. Whenever Charles faced stress or needed someone to confide in, it was Camilla he turned to. She wasn't just a mistress. She was his emotional anchor, someone he trusted completely. For Diana, this was devastating. she often felt like an outsider in her own marriage, unable to connect with Charles on the level that Camilla could. Despite her efforts to make their relationship work, Diana could never break the bond that Charles and Camilla shared. Harry's revelations also highlight how this emotional connection made Diana feel inadequate. Charles's romantic and emotional allegiance to Camilla meant that Diana was never truly his first choice. She was the perfect royal bride in the eyes of the monarchy, young, beautiful, and aristocratic. But Charles's heart had always belonged to Camilla. This reality crushed Diana, who wanted nothing more than a loving and supportive partner. Instead, she found herself in a marriage where she was constantly second to another woman. Harry has spoken about how this emotional dependency wasn't just a private matter. It bled into their family life. Diana, feeling unloved and betrayed, turned to her children for solace. She became a hands-on mother, determined to give Harry and William the love and attention she herself craved from Charles. Meanwhile, Charles continued to confide in Camilla, leaving Diana isolated and deeply hurt. This emotional dynamic wasn't just painful for Diana. It also left a lasting impact on her sons. Harry's revelations show a man still grappling with the emotional fallout of watching his mother suffer. He has spoken openly about how Charles's dependency on Camilla overshadowed their family and contributed to the cracks in his parents' marriage. For Harry, this isn't just a story about a royal scandal. It's a personal account of love, betrayal, and the emotional struggles that shaped his family's history. Camilla's influence on royal decisions undermined. Diana. Camilla's influence on royal decisions played a much bigger role in Diana's struggles than many realized. Prince Harry has revealed how Camilla's presence wasn't just an emotional strain on his mother, it also affected the way Diana was treated within the royal household. From behind the scenes, Camilla's connection with Charles allowed her to sway decisions that ultimately undermined Diana's position and happiness. According to Harry, Diana always felt like an outsider in a royal system that seemed to favor Camilla. This wasn't just about Charles's emotional dependency. It went deeper. Camilla had a network of friends and allies within the royal circle who supported her, even while she was seen as just a family friend. Diana knew that many of these individuals worked to keep Camilla close to Charles. They facilitated meetings, covered for their relationship, and even influenced how Diana was perceived by the press and the public. One of the most painful examples of this was how Diana felt unsupported by those around her. While she was trying to fulfill her royal duties and present herself as a devoted wife and mother, Camilla's influence created a divide. Harry claims that some of the decisions that affected Diana's life and reputation were influenced by Camilla's connections. This included how the palace handled Diana's media image. Negative stories about Diana sometimes appeared in the press, painting her as unstable or overly emotional. Diana suspected that these stories were planted by people close to Camilla, working to protect her reputation while damaging Diana's. Even within the family, Diana felt that Camilla's presence made it nearly impossible for her to win Charles's affection. Camilla's calm and composed demeanor, combined with her ability to understand Charles, made Diana feel like she could never compete. Harry has spoken about how this emotional triangle left Diana isolated and unsupported, especially when she needed help the most. Diana also believed that Camilla's influence extended to Charles's decisions about their marriage. Charles often seemed more concerned with keeping Camilla happy than supporting Diana. This imbalance caused deep pain for Diana, who knew she was fighting a losing battle not only against Camilla, but against an entire system that seemed to protect her. Harry's revelations have shed light on just how much Camilla's influence shaped Diana's life. For Diana, it wasn't just about losing her husband's love. It was about losing her place in a system that always seemed to choose Camilla over her. The infamous bracelet incident. The infamous bracelet incident is one of the most heartbreaking and revealing moments in the tragic story of Princess Diana and King Charles's marriage. It occurred just before Charles and Diana were set to tie the knot, a time that should have been filled with excitement and hope. However, for Diana, it became one of the first signs that her marriage was not the fairy tale she had envisioned. Just days before their wedding, Diana discovered that Charles had commissioned a gold bracelet for Camilla Parker Bowles. The bracelet wasn't just a random gift. It was engraved with their secret nicknames, Fred and Gladys. These nicknames symbolized the deep and personal bond that Charles and Camilla shared, a bond that had clearly not ended despite Charles's engagement to Diana. For Diana, this discovery was devastating. She realized that she wasn't just marrying a prince, she was also stepping into a marriage with a third person already deeply involved. The incident left Diana feeling betrayed and humiliated. She was young, just 20 years old, and had already begun to suspect that Camilla wasn't just a friend to Charles. But now, the bracelet confirmed her worst fears. Charles's heart wasn't entirely hers, even before they exchanged vows. This moment planted seeds of doubt and insecurity in Diana's mind. Doubts that would haunt her throughout their marriage. What made this even more painful for Diana was Charles's lack of sensitivity. He didn't try to hide the bracelet or downplay its significance. He even admitted to Diana that it was for Camilla, brushing it off as a harmless gesture of friendship. To Diana, however, it was anything but harmless. It was a clear sign that Camilla still held a special place in Charles's life, one that Diana could never truly replace. The bracelet became a symbol of everything wrong in their relationship. It represented the lingering presence of Camilla in their marriage and the emotional bond that Charles had with her. A bond Diana could never compete with. This incident was one of Diana's first glimpses into the emotional triangle she was about to face. Looking back, the bracelet wasn't just a gift. It was a warning. It foreshadowed the struggles Diana would endure as she tried to navigate a marriage overshadowed by betrayal, secrets, and the unbreakable connection between Charles and Camilla. For Diana, the bracelet wasn't just a piece of jewelry. It was the beginning of a heartbreak that would define her life. Late-night phone calls exposed the depth of Charles and Camilla's affair. The late-night phone calls between Charles and Camilla were one of the most heartbreaking discoveries for Princess Diana. These calls were not just casual conversations. They revealed the deep emotional connection Charles shared with Camilla, a connection that Diana always knew she could never compete with. Prince Harry has recently opened up about how these private calls exposed just how intertwined Charles and Camilla's lives were, even during his parents' marriage. Diana first became aware of these phone calls early on in her marriage. While the world saw Charles and Diana as a picture-perfect royal couple, the reality behind palace doors was far from perfect. Late at night, when Diana was alone, Charles would often retreat to a private room to make secret calls to Camilla. These weren't about official royal matters. They were heartfelt conversations filled with laughter, inside jokes, and emotional support. For Diana, knowing that her husband sought comfort and connection from another woman was devastating. One of the most infamous moments came when Diana overheard an intimate phone call between Charles and Camilla. In that moment, it became clear to her that their bond was more than just a lingering friendship. She realized that Charles's heart was always with Camilla. The discovery of these calls marked a turning point for Diana, as it confirmed her deepest fears. She was not the only woman in Charles's life. Harry has revealed that these late-night calls were not just a betrayal of Diana's trust, but also a reflection of how Camilla's presence overshadowed his mother's role in the marriage. Charles's emotional dependency on Camilla became obvious through these conversations, as he turned to her for the kind of intimacy he never shared with Diana. This left Diana feeling isolated and unloved, struggling to understand why her husband couldn't connect with her in the same way. What made it worse was that these calls were often disguised as business or official matters. But Diana always knew the truth. She later described how hearing Charles's voice light up while speaking to Camilla felt like a dagger to her heart. It was a constant reminder that their marriage was never truly between just the two of them. Camilla's jealousy of Diana's global popularity created tensions. Princess Diana was adored by millions around the world, and her natural charm, beauty, and compassion earned her the title of the People's Princess. However, her global popularity wasn't just a source of admiration. It also created serious tension behind palace walls. Prince Harry has revealed how Camilla, now Queen Consort, was deeply jealous of Diana's widespread adoration. And this jealousy played a big role in the strained relationships within the royal family. Camilla and Diana were opposites in many ways. Diana had a rare ability to connect with people. Whether it was comforting a child in a hospital or speaking with ordinary citizens, Diana's warmth and authenticity were undeniable. Crowds flocked to see her, and the press couldn't get enough of her. Her every move, outfit, and word made headlines. By contrast, Camilla lived in the shadows, often portrayed as the other woman during Diana and Charles's marriage. While Diana shone in the spotlight, Camilla was left dealing with harsh public criticism, and this stark difference only fueled her resentment. Harry has suggested that Camilla struggled with how Diana's popularity affected her own place in Charles's life. Diana wasn't just loved by the public, she was beloved by Charles's family and courtiers at first, too. This made Camilla's position even more precarious. Even as Charles's feelings for Diana cooled, Camilla couldn't compete with the way Diana captivated the world. It was a rivalry that Camilla could never win, and it ate away at her. This jealousy reportedly led to subtle but damaging actions. Harry has hinted that Camilla, along with her allies in royal circles, may have tried to influence the press to paint Diana in a negative light. Stories about Diana being unstable, or difficult, began to circulate, and the once perfect princess was now fighting against a media storm she believed was orchestrated, at least in part, by Camilla's supporters. These narratives not only hurt Diana's reputation, but also added to the tension between the two women. For Diana, the rivalry wasn't just about Camilla's relationship with Charles. It was about feeling undermined at every turn. While Diana wanted to use her platform for good, Camilla resented how Diana's light overshadowed her own presence in the royal family. Harry's revelations highlight how this jealousy created friction that rippled through the monarchy, leaving behind a legacy of bitterness and betrayal. Secret meetings between Charles and Camilla were hidden in plain sight. The secret meetings between Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles were one of the most painful betrayals Princess Diana had to endure. What made it worse? These meetings were often hidden in plain sight, disguised as casual social events or family gatherings. Recently, Prince Harry has revealed just how far Charles and Camilla went to keep their relationship alive, even during his marriage to Diana. The truth is, these hidden encounters weren't so hidden after all. Diana knew exactly what was going on. According to Harry, Charles and Camilla's connection was carefully maintained with the help of close friends and royal courtiers. These allies enabled their meetings, ensuring they could see each other without raising suspicion. Social events such as hunting trips, polo matches, and even dinner parties provided the perfect cover for their rendezvous. While the public saw these as innocent royal traditions, Diana saw them for what they truly were: opportunities for her husband to be with another woman. One of the most gut-wrenching aspects for Diana was that she was often present at these events. Imagine attending a party or gathering, only to see your husband stealing glances or sharing private jokes with another woman. Diana later admitted that she felt humiliated and powerless. She was trapped in a situation where everyone around her seemed to accept and even support Charles and Camilla's relationship, leaving her to suffer in silence. Harry has also revealed that Diana wasn't just suspicious, she had proof. She knew about the phone calls, the secret letters, and the carefully planned meetings. But confronting Charles never seemed to make a difference. The emotional triangle left Diana feeling isolated and betrayed, especially as the royal family and staff turned a blind eye to what was happening. For Diana, the most painful part was the realization that these meetings weren't just about physical attraction. They were about an emotional bond that she could never break. Charles and Camilla shared years of history, private jokes, and a deep connection that made Diana feel like an outsider in her own marriage. These revelations from Harry shine a light on how the secret meetings weren't so secret after all. They were a constant reminder to Diana that her marriage to Charles was built on shaky ground, with Camilla always lurking in the background. Hidden in plain sight, these meetings symbolized the betrayal that ultimately shattered Diana's trust and happiness. Prince Harry raises doubts about the official investigation into Diana's death. Prince Harry is no stranger to controversy, but his recent remarks about the official investigation into Princess Diana's death have reignited questions that have haunted the public for decades. Harry has openly expressed his doubts about the events surrounding his mother's tragic car crash in Paris on August 31, 1997. While the official conclusion pointed to a drunk driver and aggressive paparazzi, Harry believes there's more to the story, and he's not alone. one of the most chilling aspects of Diana's death is her own eerie prediction. Diana had written a letter months before her death, claiming she feared a plot involving a car accident. This note, discovered after her passing, specifically mentioned her concerns about someone tampering with her car. Harry has pointed to this letter as evidence that his mother's fears were not unfounded. He has even taken aim at the royal institution itself, suggesting that the system that failed to protect his mother may have played a role in her tragic end. Harry has also raised questions about the investigation's inconsistencies. Why were the cameras in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel, where Diana's crash occurred, mysteriously not working that night? Why were certain key witnesses never interviewed thoroughly? And why was there such a rush to blame the paparazzi, while other suspicious details were brushed aside? For Harry, these unanswered questions cast doubt on the official narrative. Even more shocking, Harry has hinted that his father, King Charles, may have known more than he let on. During the investigation, Charles was questioned about Diana's letter, in which she mentioned fearing for her life. While Charles denied involvement, Harry remains skeptical about whether the truth was fully revealed. For Diana's sons, the pain of losing their mother is compounded by the lingering doubts surrounding her death. Harry's determination to uncover the truth is not just about justice for Diana, it's about challenging the institutions and individuals who may have failed her. As Harry continues to speak out, one thing is clear: the mystery of Diana's death is far from being laid to rest. Harry's mission to expose the truth about Diana's struggles and betrayals. Prince Harry has always carried the weight of his mother's struggles, but now, as an adult, he's on a mission to expose the truth about what Princess Diana endured. Her life was filled with love, betrayal, and unimaginable pain, much of which was caused by the very institution she married into. Harry has revealed that Diana wasn't just a victim of circumstance, she was betrayed by those closest to her, including King Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles. Harry's goal is clear: to ensure that Diana's voice, which was often silenced during her lifetime, is finally heard. Diana's struggles began early in her marriage to Charles. Harry has spoken about how his mother felt isolated and unsupported from the start. Charles's emotional dependency on Camilla was no secret to Diana. She felt like she was living in the shadow of another woman, constantly competing for her husband's affection. Harry has described how Diana's heartbreak was exacerbated by the royal family's refusal to acknowledge what was happening. The late-night phone calls, secret meetings, and even intimate gifts between Charles and Camilla were all hidden in plain sight. For Diana, it wasn't just the emotional betrayal that hurt. It was the way the system worked against her. According to Harry, the royal institution not only ignored her pain, but also contributed to it. Negative stories were planted in the media, painting Diana as unstable while protecting Charles and Camilla. This betrayal left Diana feeling trapped and alone, with only her sons as her source of strength. Harry's mission to share Diana's truth isn't just about uncovering the past. It's about holding those responsible accountable. He wants the world to know that Diana's struggles were not just personal. They were part of a larger system designed to protect the monarchy at any cost. Harry is honoring his mother's legacy and ensuring that the world never forgets the pain she endured. Diana may have been silenced during her lifetime, but through Harry, her story continues to shine as a reminder of the cost of betrayal and the power of truth. Camilla's role in controlling public perception and royal narratives. Camilla, the Queen Consort of the United Kingdom, has had a rocky relationship with the public, especially given her connection to the late Princess Diana. Recently, Prince Harry shared some surprising thoughts about Camilla that have brought new attention to her role in the royal family. His comments reveal a more negative view of her, which adds complexity to how we see her today. Many people remember Camilla as the woman who was involved in the breakdown of Charles and Diana's marriage. This history has always cast a long shadow over her reputation. In his recent revelations, Prince Harry expressed his concerns about Camilla's influence within the royal family. He described feeling uneasy about how she has shaped her public image, suggesting that her actions may not always be genuine. This perspective is important because it highlights a different side of Camilla that many might not see. Harry's comments suggest that he feels Camilla has played a part in a carefully crafted narrative, one that makes her look good in the eyes of the public. This idea of controlling the story is crucial for Camilla, as she has spent years trying to win people over. However, Harry's words remind us that not everyone in the royal family feels the same way. His openness about his feelings adds to the ongoing conversation about Camilla's role in the monarchy. Furthermore, Harry's revelations also show the impact of personal experiences on public perception. He has faced a lot of challenges in his life, and his views on Camilla reflect his struggles with family dynamics. This negative sense does not just affect how he sees her, but it also influences how others might view the royal family as a whole. Prince Harry's recent comments about Camilla reveal a different and more critical perspective on her role within the royal family. While she works hard to control her public image, Harry's insights remind us that not everyone is convinced by her efforts. This ongoing tension highlights the complexity of royal narratives and the challenge of reshaping public perception, especially when personal feelings are involved.
But I suppose in two completely different ways, the world was very touching but slightly overwhelming. You see, I don't think Diana probably ever realized how much she was loved and known all over the world.
Before her tragic passing, Princess Diana's mother penned a chilling message that would leave the world in shock. A note so startling, it exposed deep wounds and hinted at a darkness few ever imagined. As we delve into this shocking revelation, we uncover secrets that challenge everything we thought we knew about Diana's life and legacy. Join us in this video to uncover the truth behind this eerie note and the shocking impact it had on the royal family. Princess Diana's mother's note and horrifying actions after her death. Frances Shand Kidd, Princess Diana's mother, lived a life marked by personal strife and public scrutiny. Born Frances Burke Roche in early 1936, she was the daughter of Baron Fermoy and Ruth Roche. Her aristocratic upbringing positioned her in close proximity to the British royal family, with her own mother, Lady Fermoy, serving as a lady of the bedchamber to the Queen Mother. In 1954, Frances married Viscount Althorp, Earl Spencer, a union that seemed destined for prominence. Together, they had 5 children: Sarah, Jane, John, who tragically died shortly after birth, Diana, and Charles. Despite the family's noble lineage, Frances's personal life was far from idyllic. In 1967, she shocked society by leaving her marriage for Peter Shand Kidd, a wealthy wallpaper heir. This decision sparked a bitter divorce and custody battle. In a stunning betrayal, Frances's own mother, Lady Fermoy, testified against her in court, siding with Viscount Althorp. The courts ultimately awarded custody of the children to their father, a decision that devastated Frances. Her actions alienated her from her aristocratic peers and strained her relationships with her children, including Diana. Keep watching to know more. Years later, Frances remarried Peter Shand Kidd. But the marriage did not last. In a cruel twist, Peter left her to return to his first wife, adding yet another layer of heartache to Frances's tumultuous life. These personal challenges perhaps influenced her complicated relationship with Diana, which was characterized by love, conflict, and misunderstanding. Initially, Frances was proud of Diana's marriage to Prince Charles, viewing it as a triumph for the family. However, as Diana's struggles with the pressures of royal life became apparent, Frances's attitude shifted. The mother and daughter frequently clashed, with their most infamous disagreement reportedly revolving around Diana's relationship with Hasnat Khan, a British Pakistani heart surgeon. Frances disapproved of Diana dating outside her race, a stance that deeply upset Diana. By the time Diana tragically died in 1997, the two were no longer speaking. In the wake of Diana's death, Frances issued a handwritten note thanking the public for their overwhelming sympathy. She wrote, "I pray for her and the 2 men who died with her and for their families. I am so proud of William and Harry, and Diana's sisters, Sarah and Jane, and her brother, Charles. I thank God for the gift of Diana and for all her loving and giving. I give her back to him, with my love, pride, and admiration, to rest in peace." However, Frances's actions in the months following Diana's death shocked those closest to the late princess. Paul Burrell, Diana's former butler, accused Frances of deliberately tearing up and destroying personal letters and belongings of Diana. Burrell claimed that Frances and other family members were attempting to erase parts of Diana's world, possibly to protect the family's reputation or to conceal aspects of her private life. This destruction of personal items created a rift between Frances and Diana's close allies. Burrell, feeling a duty to preserve Diana's legacy, secretly moved some of her possessions to his home. His actions later led to a legal battle, as he was charged with stealing hundreds of Diana's personal items. Though the trial ultimately collapsed after Burrell revealed he had informed the Queen of his actions, the incident underscored the deep divisions within Diana's family. Frances Shand Kidd's life, especially her actions following Diana's death, remains a subject of intense scrutiny. Her public grief stood in stark contrast to the accusations of private destruction, leaving a complicated legacy that continues to provoke debate about her relationship with Diana and her role in preserving the memory of the people's princess. As the world reeled from the complicated legacy of Frances Shand Kidd, Diana's mother, the spotlight shifted to the harrowing final hours of Diana's life. Keep watching as we unveil the dark truth. Princess Diana's final moments and tragic death. The fateful night began with an air of unease on August 30th, 1997, as Paris lay beneath a tranquil starry sky. Diana and her companion, Dodi Fayed, sought refuge from relentless paparazzi, attempting to navigate the fragile line between public adoration and their desire for privacy. The pair, accompanied by their bodyguard Trevor Rees-Jones, exited the Ritz Hotel through a rear entrance, slipping into the sleek black Mercedes S280, hoping for a brief escape from the chaos of their lives. Unbeknownst to them, their driver, Henri Paul, bore the weight of dangerous decisions. Later investigations revealed Paul had consumed a mixture of alcohol and prescription medications that rendered him unfit to drive. Despite his calm demeanor, his impaired state set the stage for disaster. As the vehicle sped through Paris, eyewitnesses reported erratic driving, heightening the tension in what should have been a routine journey. Shortly after midnight on August 31st, 1997, the streets of Paris erupted with urgency as the Mercedes S280 collided violently with a pillar inside the Pont de l'Alma tunnel. The devastating crash left the car mangled beyond recognition, a chilling reminder of the high-speed impact. Firefighter Xavier Gourmelon and his team were among the first responders. As they reached the scene, they encountered a chaotic tableau of wreckage and despair. Among the victims, Princess Diana displayed an extraordinary will to cling to life. Her faint words, barely audible amidst the commotion, drew Gourmelon's attention, though he had no idea of her identity at the time. Those whispered words would later become part of the tragic lore surrounding her untimely death. By the time emergency services transported Diana to Pitié-Salpêtrière Hospital, her condition was critical. Paramedics had battled to stabilize her en route, administering life-saving measures after she suffered cardiac arrest at the crash site. Despite these efforts, the severity of her injuries presented a daunting challenge. Upon her arrival at approximately 2:01 a.m., the medical team, led by Dr. Monsef Daman, launched a desperate fight to save Diana's life. Diagnostic tests revealed extensive internal injuries, including catastrophic damage to her heart and lungs. The team performed a thoracotomy to stem internal bleeding and allow her heart to pump more effectively. However, the damage was insurmountable. Diana's pericardium, the protective membrane surrounding the heart, was torn, severely compromising her ability to survive. Recognizing the gravity of her condition, the hospital called in renowned cardiac surgeon Professor Alain Pavier. He worked tirelessly alongside Dr. Daman, identifying a tear in Diana's upper left pulmonary vein near her heart. Despite their expertise and relentless determination, the surgical team could not reverse the damage. There's more. Keep watching. For over an hour, the medical team employed every available resource, including repeated electrical shocks to her heart, in a desperate bid to restore her pulse. Yet, the profound internal injuries rendered their efforts futile. At 4 a.m., after a prolonged and valiant fight, the team had no choice but to pronounce Princess Diana dead. In those final moments, the hospital room was filled with a solemn silence, as the team, exhausted and heartbroken, stepped back from their monumental efforts. Diana's tragic death reverberated far beyond the walls of the hospital, igniting waves of grief that swept across the globe. She was not only a beloved royal, but also a beacon of compassion and humanity, leaving the world to grapple with the loss of someone who had touched countless lives. In the aftermath of Princess Diana's devastating and untimely death, the world's grief was quickly accompanied by a wave of questions and suspicions, speculations, and conspiracy theories surrounding Princess Diana's death. Despite the exhaustive efforts of medical professionals and first responders, doubts and conspiracy theories began to take root, casting shadows over the tragic events of that fateful night. These speculations, largely propelled by Mohammed Al-Fayed, Dodi Fayed's father, painted a narrative of foul play. Al-Fayed was adamant that the crash was not an accident, but a deliberate act orchestrated by British authorities. He believed both his son and Diana were targeted, and his public accusations fanned the flames of controversy. The suspicions extended even to the medical team led by Dr. Monsef Daman, whose actions on the night of Diana's death were scrutinized under a microscope. As public pressure mounted and theories grew increasingly elaborate, the British authorities launched an in-depth investigation in the early 2000s. Dubbed Operation Paget, this inquiry was spearheaded by former Metropolitan Police Chief Lord John Stevens. Its purpose was clear: to unravel the mysteries surrounding Diana's death, analyze the crash's circumstances, and address the persistent allegations of a cover-up involving Dr. Daman and his team. The investigation brought to light every detail of that tragic night. Lord Stevens worked closely with a British forensic pathologist and combed through an extensive array of evidence, including eyewitness accounts, crash scene analysis, and medical records. The probe also provided an opportunity for Dr. Daman and his colleagues to defend their actions. Fully cooperating with the investigation, they stood by their unwavering dedication to saving Diana's life. So what did they find out? Keep watching to know. When the findings were finally revealed, they struck a decisive blow against the conspiracy theories. According to the Daily Mail, Lord Stevens highlighted the exceptional qualifications and professionalism of the medical team. Dr. Daman and his colleagues were commended for their expertise and their relentless efforts to save Diana under extraordinarily challenging conditions. The report concluded that every possible step had been taken to give Diana a fighting chance. Lord Stevens emphasized that no alternative course of action could have altered the tragic outcome. By addressing each lingering doubt and baseless accusation, Operation Paget offered much-needed clarity, affirming the integrity of the medical team and the unavoidable nature of Diana's passing. As the world mourned the loss of Princess Diana, her diary entries began to shed light on the silent battles she endured behind the scenes. You definitely want to know the details of her journaling. This is probably the most interesting part of this video. Keep watching as we reveal everything. Princess Diana's diary reveals her struggles. While the public adored her for her grace, kindness, and commitment to charitable causes, her private writings revealed a woman grappling with profound emotional pain, betrayal, and isolation. These entries painted a haunting picture of the personal challenges she faced, even as she upheld the polished image expected of a royal. Diana's diary provides an intimate window into her struggles, particularly the heartbreak caused by her husband's ongoing affair with Camilla Parker Bowles. Her feelings of inadequacy and betrayal are starkly apparent in her own words. "I feel like I'm living in her shadow. No matter what I do, he always goes back to her. I'll never be enough." These revelations show just how deeply Charles's actions wounded her, leaving her questioning her self-worth and place in his life. As the affair became more public and undeniable, Diana's resentment grew. Her entries capture moments of despair when she felt trapped in a loveless marriage, bound by the duty to maintain appearances for the sake of the monarchy. "I'm suffocating in this life," she wrote in one poignant entry. "Everyone expects me to just smile and wave, while inside I'm falling apart. How can I pretend everything is fine when my husband is in love with someone else?" Diana's anguish was not limited to her emotional pain, but also extended to battles with her mental health. The princess openly recorded her struggles with depression, bulimia, and thoughts of ending her life. Her writings detail a woman who felt unsupported and isolated, even in moments of extreme distress. In one particularly heartbreaking entry, Diana wrote about standing at the top of the Kensington Palace staircase, contemplating a final escape from her pain. "I thought about just letting go," she admitted, her words echoing the depth of her sorrow. But that's not all. Her eating disorder, bulimia, became a coping mechanism amid the relentless pressure and emotional turmoil she endured. Diana's diary entries reveal how she used control over food as a way to reclaim some power in her life. "It was the only thing I could control," she confessed, when everything else was falling apart. Her writings also recount hurtful remarks from Charles that exacerbated her insecurities. On one occasion, he criticized her eating habits, telling her she was too heavy. This stinging comment left Diana feeling crushed. "I felt like nothing," she wrote. "No matter how hard I tried, I would never be good enough for him." In the absence of adequate emotional support, Diana's pain deepened. She wrote about her cries for help being ignored or dismissed, her pleas treated as dramatic outbursts rather than genuine expressions of distress. "They don't care," she lamented. "They think I'm being dramatic, but they don't understand how much I'm hurting." This indifference compounded her isolation, forcing her to confront her struggles largely alone. Even as Diana faced these personal battles, her diary reveals glimmers of resilience and determination. Despite her heartbreak, depression, and struggles with bulimia, she refused to let her circumstances define her entirely. Her writings convey a spirit determined to survive and find strength in adversity. "I'm not going to let them break me," she declared in one entry. "I'm stronger than they think." Diana's writings also allude to her fears about her safety in the years leading up to her tragic death. She expressed suspicions that someone close to her ex-husband, Charles, might harm her or stage a fatal accident to remove her from his life. In a chilling letter to her former butler, Paul Burrell, Diana voiced her belief that she might die in a car crash, a fear she reiterated in conversations with close confidants. These diary entries, while deeply personal, offer a poignant and heart-wrenching narrative of a woman who, despite her fame and influence, was profoundly human in her struggles. They reveal not only the depth of Diana's pain, but also her remarkable strength in the face of overwhelming odds. Princess Diana's journey was one of profound complexity, which resulted in her rocky relationship with the royals. Keep watching to know more. Princess Diana's bold stances and rocky relationship with the royals. In the years since her passing, Diana's legacy has only grown, especially as her sons, William and Harry, have become leading figures in the royal family. Yet, the days immediately following her death exposed the stark divide between Diana and the institution she represented. The royal family's cold and silent reaction to her passing felt unsettling to many. While the world grieved openly, the monarchy's lack of emotion and failure to issue a statement painted a picture of detachment. This silence drew widespread criticism, as it seemed to underscore a long-standing tension between Diana and the institution she had struggled to navigate during her lifetime. This strained relationship was not a new development. Long before her divorce from Prince Charles, Diana's connection with the royal family was fraught with challenges. Her charisma and ability to captivate the public often drew more attention than the Queen herself. This, as speculated, may have caused friction within the royal household. Diana's independence and refusal to conform to rigid royal traditions further deepened the divide. One of Diana's earliest acts of defiance came on her wedding day. In a subtle yet powerful move, she chose to omit the word "obey" from her vows, breaking with centuries-old royal tradition. Instead, she pledged to love, comfort, honor, and keep Charles, signaling to the world that she intended to embrace her role on her own terms. This decision sparked controversy at the time, but later inspired a shift in royal wedding vows, as seen with Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle, who followed Diana's lead by leaving out the word "obey." Diana's boldness extended far beyond her wedding vows. She redefined what it meant to be a royal by breaking numerous traditions in favor of a more human and approachable image. While the Queen was known for her gloves and hats, Diana discarded these symbols of formality. She believed gloves hindered personal connections and opted to shake hands or hold them directly. Hats, she reasoned, made it difficult to connect with children, so she left those behind too. These seemingly small gestures made Diana feel more relatable to the public, reinforcing her image as the people's princess. There's still some more. Stay tuned. Perhaps one of her most revolutionary decisions was choosing to give birth to her sons, William and Harry, in a hospital. Until then, royal babies were traditionally born at home, with prominent witnesses, such as the Archbishop of Canterbury, present to confirm the legitimacy of heirs. By delivering her children at a hospital, Diana modernized royal motherhood and set a new precedent for future generations. These bold choices showcase Diana's unwavering commitment to authenticity. She refused to let the constraints of royal protocol dictate her life, even if it meant clashing with the family she represented. Diana's defiance was not an act of rebellion for rebellion's sake. It was an assertion of her individuality in a role that demanded conformity. While her independence may have created friction within the royal household, it endeared her to the public. Diana's willingness to challenge traditions and stay true to herself resonated deeply with people worldwide. Her choices not only modernized the monarchy, but also humanized it, leaving a legacy that continues to inspire. Her journey was a testament to the power of staying true to oneself, no matter the odds. So what was her legacy like? Let's find out. Princess Diana's legacy. Princess Diana was more than just a member of the British royal family. She was a symbol of kindness, strength, and change. From her engagement to Prince Charles to her untimely death, she captivated the world. Known as the world's most photographed woman, Diana used her fame to support causes that touched people from all walks of life. Despite the challenges of her troubled marriage, her charm, elegance, and dedication to charity work made her one of the most admired figures in royal history. Diana's life was filled with struggles, but also remarkable achievements. Biographer Sarah Bradford revealed that the strain of her marriage, including constant criticism from Charles, often left her in despair. Even so, Diana's popularity soared while Charles faced declining public support. Her private secretary, Patrick Jeffson, described her as hardworking, organized, and deeply committed to her children. Those who knew her saw a mix of love and vulnerability that endeared her to millions. Though shy in her early years, Diana became a powerful figure in the royal family. She broke taboos by speaking openly about her struggles, including her eating disorder, which helped bring attention to mental health issues. Journalist Tina Brown noted that Diana had a natural ability to connect with people and use her influence to help others. Whether comforting the sick or supporting marginalized groups, Diana changed how the royal family approached charity work, emphasizing personal connection over tradition. Diana's casual, approachable demeanor stood out in the formal world of royalty. She preferred personal interactions, like shaking hands or hugging without gloves, which made the royal family feel more relatable. As journalist Eugene Robinson described, Diana was full of energy, compassion, and glamour, a refreshing presence who redefined the image of a royal. Her separation from Charles allowed her to find her own voice and carve a unique path. When Diana passed away in 1997, the grief felt around the world was unmatched. Her death forced the royal family to face criticism and adapt to public expectations. Many, including her son William, believe her legacy helped bridge the gap between the monarchy and the people, changing the way they are perceived. Diana's influence continued after her death. She was named runner-up for Time magazine's Person of the Year in 1997 and was included among the 100 Women of the Year in 2020. However, not everyone agreed with her actions. Some questioned whether her philanthropy was genuine or driven by personal motives. Her complicated relationship with the press also sparked debate, as she both criticized media intrusion and used it to her advantage. Despite these criticisms, Diana's dedication to causes like landmine awareness, AIDS support, and leprosy care proved her genuine desire to make a difference. Historian Ludmila Jordanova noted that Diana's story highlights the challenges faced by charismatic women in positions of power. While some argue her influence has faded, others believe her impact remains significant. In the end, Diana was neither perfect nor revolutionary, but she was deeply human. Her life, though short, showcased the power of compassion, courage, and authenticity. Diana's legacy continues to inspire people worldwide, reminding us of her groundbreaking efforts and lasting contributions to both the monarchy and society. Do you agree? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.